Hello, I'm Dr. Neha Shetty. I will be talking on the topic of clinical study of macular edema. My aim of the study was to analyze the clinical profile, etiology and various patterns of macular edema. Now, damage to the macula has an immediate effect on the central visual acuity and may substantially affect a patient's quality of life. It is reversible if diagnosed early and treated. If left untreated, its scar can cause a permanent vision loss. By correlating the results from fundoscopy, OCT and fluorescein angiography, fluid accumulation within the macula can be confirmed. This study focuses on etiology and patterns of macular edema in patients visiting the OPD and undergoing treatment at our hospital to find the occurrence of edema in various causes and to study its different patterns. The sample size was of 60 patients. It was a cross-sectional study done over a period of 18 months. I included all patients with macular edema coming to the OPD or admitted at our hospital. Patients where fundus examination, that is macular examination, was difficult was excluded from the study. That is patients with central corneal opacities, patients with media opacities like vitreous hemorrhage or degenerations, patients with a dense central cataract, and patients who are under treatment or have undergone treatment for macular edema. An informed written consent of all patients was taken and the proforma of the study was explained. Examination methods were Amsler's slit lamp biomicroscopy, direct and indirect fundoscopy, OCT and fluorescein angiography. The observations and results were that there were 43 males and 17 females out of the 60 participants with a male to female ratio of 2.53:1. Mean age of participants was 60 years with a range of 23 to 85 years. Patients were having diabetes followed by branch retinal vein occlusion in 12 patients and hypertension in 6 patients. There were 39 cases with unilateral macular edema and 21 cases with bilateral presentation. The most common cause in unilateral cases was BRVO and the most common cause in bilateral cases was diabetes mellitus. In our study, 40 eyes had a vision between 6/60 to 6/24, 25 eyes had vision less than 6/60 and 16 eyes had vision between 6/18 to 6/12. More than 70% cases with macular edema presented with metamorphopsia on Amsler's grid. The most common OCT pattern found was cystoid, seen in more than 60% cases, and the most common macular thickness was between 351 microns to 500 microns, seen in more than 55% cases. Diabetic macular edema patients, more than 50% patients had a duration of 10 to 20 years. Associated risk factors were hypertension, dyslipidemia, nephropathy and smoking. More than 60% patients were type 2 diabetics on oral regimen and 29% were on insulin regimen. We had only 2 cases with type 1 diabetes. More than 70% of the diabetic patients with macular edema had a history of poor compliance to their anti-diabetic regimen, and in our study 41.67% had moderate NPDR, 33.33% had severe NPDR, 16.67% had PDR, and 70% cases with clinically significant macular edema had associated dyslipidemia. Most common OCT pattern found in these diabetics was cystoid, followed by diffuse retinal thickening in 20% patients, tractional retinal detachment in 10% cases, posterior highlight traction in 5% cases, and subfoveal fluid collection in 2.5% cases. 10 eyes with cystoid macular edema had visual acuity less than 6/60, 11 had vision between 6/60 to 6/24, and 4 had vision between 6/18 to 6/12. On correlating the severity of the diabetic retinopathy with the OCT findings, 5 eyes with moderate NPDR had cystoid macular edema, 3 eyes had cystoid macular edema with severe NPDR, 1 eye had proliferative diabetic retinopathy, and 1 had mild NPDR with cystoid macular edema. The most common FFA pattern found was mixed, which was more than 60% cases had that, and 25% had diffuse pattern and 10% had focal pattern. Correlating the most common OCT pattern with their presenting FFA pattern, 14 eyes with cystoid macular edema had mixed pattern on FFA, 3 eyes had focal pattern and 1 eye had a diffuse pattern. 14 patients with retinal venous occlusion had hypertension as a risk factor, 46.67% were smokers, 33.33% patients were glaucomatous, and 4 patients had a history of diabetes. 60% patients were smokers who had ERMD with macular edema. So on conclusion, the present study analyzes the clinical profiles and the patterns of presentation of macular edema patients to help in its early detection and subsequent treatment. OCT greatly facilitates the study of the retinal foveal anatomy and thickness by providing a high resolution cross-sectional images of the retina. Also, subtle macular edema that may be difficult to detect on slit lamp can be easily detected by OCT and FFA. FFA also helps to determine a specific leakage pattern, which helps in guiding the type of treatment required. Determining the type of clinically significant macular edema and retinal thickness by OCT and FFA helps in characterizing the edema, determining the mode of treatment, and subsequently monitoring the treatment response in these patients. Thank you.